Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And we are here to talk about the Knicks season schedule. The season schedule was dropped today. And we're going to talk about it, break it down, talk about some games we definitely want to see. Right now, me and my man, Andy, we're just checking a few logistics to make sure that all of the numbers that we have are right. But we're going to talk about this schedule, man, and have a good time doing it. So let's get with it right now. And you know what? Once again, I did the same thing again, and I seem to do this every time. Or maybe this is just a ploy for me to get you to pay attention a little bit closer. But anyway, pay attention to this ad right here. Opening night tickets. Make sure you get your opening night tickets. We're talking about it tonight. Here we go. Good job. Yes, sir. We got in the chat. We got Guillermo. We got Andy. We got Nick. We got Nate. And we're going to talk about this New York Knicks schedule. We're also going to talk about a few other New York Knicks things on tap. The Knicks signed Lamar Peters to a non-guaranteed contract, most likely an Exhibit 10 contract, so he can play with the Westchester Knicks. Of course it is, because the Knicks have a full roster as we speak. Also, R.J. Barrett, Zion Williamson, Ignaz Brazdeikis. I don't know why I said Zion before I said Ignaz, but I should have said Ignaz first. All those guys were at their NBA rookie photo shoots. We'll talk about that a little bit, talk about some of the things that R.J. said. So before we get to it, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to our guys that's here in the video chat real quick. Say what's up to them, see how their weekend went. Hopefully your weekend went well. Hopefully you had a relaxing weekend. And of course, this guy comes in making noise, as usual. Isaiah, that is. You can all guess who it is. There's no doubt about it that Isaiah is always going to come in making noise. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's just who he is. Short bus guy. Remember that. But anyway, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Enjoyed your weekend. Relaxing weekend. I enjoyed my weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. All right, but let's get to these guys, man. Let's see what these guys are talking about. See what these guys are thinking about. As soon as I get one thing straight, I'm going to bring it on over. But as we're getting there, I'll start off with Andy. Say what's up to Andy real quick and let Andy get a couple words. And Andy, what's going on with you, man?
Yo, shout out, guys. Happy to be joining you. I missed the Friday show because I was away, so it's finally happy to be back.
Yeah, you were on a vacation?
Yeah, I was on the weekend with my wife. I had a 12-year anniversary of my wedding, and my birthday was on Sunday, so.
And make sure you guys get your tickets. Anyway, congratulations to you, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man. 12 years, that's a long time for real.
Yeah, that's a long time. And I know my wife almost over 20 years now, so.
Oh, wow.
It's a damn long time.
Yeah, nice. I mean, that's a good thing, man. Congratulations are definitely in store. Hopefully you guys had a nice time on your 12th anniversary vacation and everything, man.
Yeah, thank you again.
Yeah, and I know, you're checking. We're gonna go with the official, whatever the Knicks PR put out as far as some of the numbers we had. My count was a little bit off, but you know what?
I had 12, so I'm off as well.
So there you go. See, and so maybe we can read the dates off together. You had 12. So the Knicks have officially, they have put out that they have 13 back-to-backs. I counted up 11 back-to-backs, and Andy counted up 12 back-to-backs. So somebody's wrong. I'm going to err on the side of saying that me and Andy are wrong. Since it's the Knicks official publication, the Knicks PR put it out. But I don't know, man. I'm counting, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm wrong. So I guess we'll look at it together and figure out who's right and who's wrong here. All right, but let me get around to everybody, and I'll come back to you. Count it again, Andy. Count it again.
Okay.
Count it again. Go if I don't know what you did, but if you go on NewYorkKnicks.com, you can download a PDF of the schedule, and you can really see right there what the back-to-backs look like. I mean, you can see it because the colors are right side by side, so it makes it a little bit easier to count them up.
Yeah.
All right, so and I'm gonna count again just so I can be sure. All right, but let me get over here to Nate. I'm trying to unmute Nate's. There we go.
What's up, man?
Nate? What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Had a good weekend. Super excited. The schedule came out today, and I saw the first game is going to be in San Antonio. So looking at tickets already to go watch the Knicks play. It'll be exciting to see the first game, see what this new squad looks like with the young rooks. And so, yeah, man, couldn't ask for a better opening game. So I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah, man. It's definitely going to be fun. And listen, I just counted again once more, and I'm still getting 11. I don't know what it is. I don't know. And look, I'm going to bring this up on the screen so that we can count it together. And then somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm just tripping, if I'm losing it. You know, maybe it's too hot here in Maryland, something. I don't know. We'll see what's up. Nick, what's going on, Nick?
Ain't nothing much. Just hanging in there. Just laughing at the chat right now. Apparently, I'm LeBron James.
Apparently, you're LeBron. They got a name for everybody, don't they?
Yeah. Terrible.
They got a name for everybody.
Terrible. I wish I had his money. There
you go. That's it right there. I wish you had his money. I'll be LeBron James if they give me his money.
Hell yeah.
Without a doubt. So what's going on with you, man? How was your weekend?
It was good, man. It was good. It was restful. So it was good.
Good.
Second weekend off, man. Second weekend off.
All right. Well, let me get around to everybody, and soon, we're going to go ahead and get into this schedule real quick.
Yep.
And the first thing that I'm going to do when we get into the schedule is we're going to count up the number of back-to-backs. That's the first thing that
Isaiah ate for breakfast, man. Come on.
And the Knicks have a lot of games, a lot of 4 games and 6 nights, too, on this schedule. And maybe, I didn't pay attention to it last year, so maybe they did last year. I don't know. But they got a lot of games, 4 games and 6 nights. A lot of stretches where it's 4 games and 6 nights. Guillermo, what's good, man?
Yo, it was good, Sam.
I'm chilling, man.
Chilling, man.
I'm going to see you on Monday, right? Man. I'm going to see you Monday, right?
Why are you making it Monday? All right.
I don't control that.
As long as you don't mind, I might come late, man.
I don't.
Just because of work.
I don't control that. That's the people that I'm working with. They said we're doing it on Monday.
Did you send an email or something?
No, not yet.
No, yeah, all right, cool. I'll try to be as early as I can.
I mean,
I'm of course I'm there to help.
I would definitely like you to be there, man, because we're going to be doing some things down there. We're going to be out in the park playing some games, doing some good stuff. It's going to be fun.
All right, cool, man. Cool, I'm down.
It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be real fun. So I'm going to get back around, man. Say what's up to everybody so we can get back around and talk about the schedule here. All right. Isaiah, hold up. There we go. What's good, bro?
Yo, Sam.
What's up?
Yo, what's up, Sam? I just want to say happy anniversary to Andy and his why I hope you go another 12 years. Oh, so right. Shout out to you, Andy. I heart you, Andy.
Andy. Please, Andy, do not let your wife hear that. If she hears that, she might divorce you.
No,
Please
man.
do not let your wife hear what he just
she gonna
did.
She gonna love you another 30 years, Andy.
Do not let her hear that. If you value your marriage, do not let her hear that.
Yeah, this episode won't be listened to at breakfast at our table again.
That was horrible.
Oh, yes, you will.
That was terrible. Isaiah, what's good, man? Stop saying.
Anyways, Sim, man, we played phone tag. Stop it. I sound like Barry White and Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Don't do that.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, I was angry at you today. We playing phone tag today, Sim. I don't like that, man.
Yo, man.
I don't like it.
Listen.
You know, my whole week was going good.
Stuff that I have to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm surrounded by basketball all day, almost every day. Right? And so sometimes I just can't get to the phone because Isaiah wants to have a conversation. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that way. You're not that special. You're not that special. I'm sorry.
Whoa! First of all, I'm very special in a good way.
You're not that special. You're not that special.
Anyways, you know, the week was good, Sim. I watched my boy Daniel Jones, D8. My boy, he did his thing on Friday. That made me excited.
Okay.
You know, just had a good weekend, man. You know, I'm excited, man. The season, I'm so excited, man. Not a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff happened this week for sports a little bit. Shout out to the Mets. My dad's happy about the Mets right now. They're doing their thing. But you know what, man? We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's get some good stuff. Let's get the show going.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So you know, let me get over here to City, and after we get to City, then we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get into this schedule a little bit because I got everybody right now trying to break down how many back-to-backs the Knicks have. I see someone in the chat.
Yo, my dad's happy, Guillermo.
I see someone in the chat say that the Knicks have 14 back-to-back. So I don't know what we got. We're gonna look at it together, ladies and gentlemen. City, what's good, man? How you feeling?
Oh, yo, what's going on, Sam?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. We're gonna break down this schedule today, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yo, I'm good, man. Yo, me and the guys, we had a good. I just came back from a camping trip, man.
Oh, word.
You know what I mean?
Okay, you do some camping.
Yeah, yo. So yeah. Me and the guys, we were out there camping. The Batch family doing the thing, you know.
Okay, that's what's up.
We kept it legit.
Where was you camp? Where was you camping at?
Oh, we were up in the Waha Mountains, man. Out here in the Potato State. So we were up here doing it up, whatever. But like, yo, I'm ready to break down the schedule. I got some good games I want to get into, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Me too, man. Me too. I got my top 10 games, you know what I mean, that I want to get into and stuff like that. But before we even do that, man, what I want to do, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this unless you're looking at the stream, right? I want to.
All right, I got it up.
Okay, cool. I want to take this and I'm going to take a minute and really try to break down the number of back-to-backs that we have. Right? Because I'm counting a different number than everybody's counting. Everybody out here seems to be counting a different number. So I want to make sure that we have this straight because I want to make sure I'm giving out the correct information, okay, about the number of back-to-backs that the Knicks are going to have this season. All right. Now, officially, what's been put out by the Knicks PR, and I'm going to bring this up so that we can look at it. All right, but what's been put out by the Knicks PR is that the Knicks have 13 back-to-back sets. I'm going to bring this up so you guys can take a look at it. All right. Although I am not sure. Oh, sorry about that. That's not what I meant to bring up. That's Dennis Smith Jr. and his jump shot that he's been working on, trying to get that thing right for the season. You know, so when the season comes, we ready to, you know, he's ready to do his thing. But, you know, when I was looking at the schedule and just kind of breaking some things down, I thought to myself, the Knicks got, you know, they got some challenges ahead of them with this schedule. They got a couple challenges ahead of them. But let's take a look at this. This is from the Knicks PR. All right, right here. This is from the Knicks PR. And it says, you see opening night, October the 26th versus Boston. All right, and of course, you know, that's going to be that's opening night at MSG, ladies and gentlemen. At MSG, that's opening night. Okay, that's a always a big night at MSG. And as a matter of fact, that's the night that we are selling tickets. We're selling tickets for opening night. So make sure you get your tickets. Reserve them now, because now that this schedule is out and people know that opening night is a Saturday night, October the 26th versus Boston, these tickets are going to go fast. So make sure you get them. All right. The road opener, the first game of the season, is versus the San Antonio Spurs, October the 23rd. All right. You got New Year's Day, January 1st versus Portland. You got Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 20th at Cleveland. So that's one thing we'll talk about, because the Knicks usually have, it's at Cleveland. The Knicks usually have a Martin Luther King matinee day at home. Can usually look forward to that. All-Star Weekend is February 14th through the 16th at the United Center in Chicago. All right. How many consecutive home games did the Knicks have? From February 29th to March 8th, they have 5 consecutive home games. There's 5 consecutive road games. 4 games, they do it twice. All right. And then you got some Rangers/Knicks doubleheaders at MSG, Sunday, November 10th versus Cleveland and versus the Florida Panthers. Okay. In October, the Knicks play 5 games in October. They play 14 games in November, 14 games in December, 16 games in January, 11 games in February, 14 in March. They play 8 games in April. And we're hoping that these 8 games, these 14 games in March and those 8 games in April are meaningful. The Knicks play 12 games on Sunday, 9 games on Monday, 9 games on Tuesday, 19 games on Wednesday, 6 games on a Thursday, 15 games on Fridays, and 12 games on Saturdays. So 15 times you're going to get to hear the Friday Night Knicks song. Okay. The Knicks have 3 home and away back-to-back sets, 3 away home back-to-back sets, 6 away back-to-back sets, and 1 home and home back-to-back set. Right? So that's the Knicks schedule in a nutshell. The national television schedule: on November the 14th, the Knicks play Dallas. On November the 26th, they play December the 26th, they're at Brooklyn. That's on TNT. On January 10th versus New Orleans, that's on ESPN. So the Knicks play 3 nationally televised games this season. Only 3 nationally televised games. And of course, if you go to the Knicks PR Twitter, twitter.com/Knicks_PR, you can get this information yourself. But what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I really want to take a look and break down these back-to-backs, because I'm not sure where the 13 back-to-backs are. So I'm a little lost there where these 13 back-to-backs are. So I'm going to look at it once more, and you guys let me know if I missed something, because I'm not sure where they are. So this is the schedule. You can get this schedule. You can go to NewYorkKnicks.com and you can download the Knicks season schedule. All right. Not only can you download the Knicks season schedule, but you can also put it on your calendar. You can make it go automatically to your calendar, so you can never miss a Knicks game. Now, let's take a look. I'm counting up the back-to-backs. You guys let me know if I'm missing something. So in October, I see 1 back-to-back right here. So that's 1. November. Now we're going through this slowly with a fine-tooth comb. No back-to-backs in November. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I see no back-to-backs in November. In December, there's a back-to-back. So now we're at 2 back-to-backs. There's another back-to-back in December. We're at 3 back-to-backs. Now there's another back-to-back. We're at 4 back-to-backs so far. All right, there's 3 back-to-backs in December. All right, so now we're going on down to January. Now, here's January 1st. Remember, the 31st is right here. Okay, so these two, there's not a back-to-back there. So far, we've got 4 back-to-backs. January here, 5 back-to-backs. Still going. 6 back-to-backs at the end of January. There's a back-to-back. All right, now we're into February. No back-to-backs before the All-Star break. Now there's a back-to-back after the All-Star break. So far we're at 1. None in November. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 back-to-backs so far. Okay, now in March, there's a back-to-back. There's 3 back-to-backs in March. So this is 8. This is 9. This is 10. In April, I see 11. So somebody tell me where I'm wrong here. Somebody tell me where I'm wrong. Someone said November. I counted November. I don't see a back-to-back in November. I don't see a back-to-back in November. There's a back-to-back in November. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it. Remember, when you see games on top of each other, that's not back-to-back. They got to be side by side to be back-to-back. November games side by side is back-to-back. And I just don't see one in November. I'm looking at the schedule, unless the schedule that I have is wrong. You said I'm intentionally missing November. I'm pointing to November right now, folks. 1 back-to-back in November, huh? Well, maybe the schedule that I'm looking at, maybe what I downloaded from the New York Knicks website is wrong. Because what I'm looking at, I don't see one in November. I don't see one in November at all. As a matter of fact, I'll even make this a little bit bigger so we can all see it. So now I'm pointing at November. 1st, 2nd, no back-to-back. 3rd, 4th, no back-to-back. 5th, 6th, no back-to-back. 7th, 8th, no back-to-back. I don't know. 10th, 11th, no back-to-back. 12th, 13th, no back-to-back. 14th, 15th, no back-to-back. 16th, 17th, no back-to-back. 18th, 19th, no back-to-back. November 23rd and 24th. Ah, there it is. Okay, I missed that one. Yes. November 23rd and 24th. There we go. Good. Okay, I missed that. Great. Okay, November 23rd and 24th. There we go. Oh, okay, so that's 12. So there's another one that I missed somewhere. There's another one that I missed somewhere. So that's good to know. All right, you know what? So I'm just going to take it that they're right. That they got 13 back-to-backs. I'm not going to argue with it. Once I found that I was wrong, I was wrong. No sense in even going any further. No sense in even going any further. They must be correct because I probably missed one of those somewhere else along the line. Somewhere in there. All right. February. Oh, that's what someone said. Yeah, February right here. Detroit and Atlanta. Saturday and Sunday. So that's 13 right there before the All-Star break. I didn't have one before the All-Star break. So there we go. Good. All right. So the Knicks have 13 back-to-backs. See? Trust the professionals, Sim. The Knicks have 13 back-to-backs this season. They also have a number of 4 games and 6 nights on some of these back-to-backs. Now, I'm not even going to go over the number that I had. I think I had 10 4 games and 6 nights. It might be a little bit more knowing that, they have these, I missed a couple of back-to-backs. All right. Looking at these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, that's not. And now let's look at the one in February. In February, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, so the Knicks have about 10, 4 games and 6 nights. All right. If my number is wrong, it's wrong, but I'm gonna look at what I have.
Wait, what'd you say? I couldn't hear you, Eddie. What'd you say your favorite country was?
Isaiah. And of course, this guy comes in, making noise in the background. Isaiah.
Hey, what's up? What's up, son?
You can't come in when Andy lets you in. You can't come in talking because you don't come in unmuted. You come in.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you let me in.
I'm telling you, sometimes you gotta stop running that trap. All right, but anyway, we just so we broke down. So we broke down. Now we know. Yes, the Knicks have 13 back-to-backs. I was definitely wrong. Looking at the schedule again, like I said, the Knicks have about 10 sets of 4 games and 6 nights. Right? That can be very tough. That can be brutal. When you're playing those 4 games and 6 nights. Now, of course, a lot of them come on nights when they have back-to-backs. Right? And when they have those back-to-backs, you have the naturally, you're at least going to play 3 games and 4 nights. And then there's nights, of course, when you're playing, like I said, 4 games and 6 nights. As soon as I get my graphic, I'm going to pull it up. Right? But that's a tough deal, man. And I'm interested to see how some of these young guys are going to be able to deal with that. Because that's not a slouch schedule. RJ Barrett, Ignatius Brazdeikis, how can they deal with these 4 games and 6 nights? Because that's a serious schedule. We see, and this is the reason why each year you have rookies who hit the so-called rookie wall. Right? Because you have those nights when it's 4 games and 6 nights and 3 games and 4 nights and all those type of things. All right. You just look at this right here. Forget about this schedule where it says back-to-backs. Right? Obviously, we went over it. There's 13 back-to-backs. Okay, because we looked at the schedule. What I want you to focus on right now is the 3 games and 4 nights. You got October 25th, 26th, 28th, and the 30th. That's 4 games and 6 nights. November 27th, 29th, December 1st and 2nd, 4 games and 6 nights. December 10th, 11th, 13th, and 15th, 4 games and 6 nights. December 3rd, 5th, 7th, 8th, 4 games and 6 nights. January 24th, 26th, 28th, 29th, 4 games and 6 nights. February 24th, 26th, 27th, 29th. March 8th, 10th, 11th, and 13th. March 23rd, 25th, 27th, 28th. April 10th, 12th, 14th, and 15th. All of these right here are 3 games and 4 nights. And again, the back-to-backs are 11, ladies and gentlemen, not 13. All right, I missed a back-to-back in November 23rd and 24th, and I missed a back-to-back in February just before the All-Star game. All right, so please remember that. That there, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot, in my opinion. And maybe, I never really paid attention to it last year. So maybe it was more last year because the Knicks played more back-to-back games last year. They played 15. So maybe they had more games that were 4 games and 6 nights. Maybe they did. I don't know. All right, 10 games that I want to see on the schedule. I'm going to talk about 10 games that I want to see, and then we're going to get into it and talk about this schedule with everyone. All right, but there's definitely a few key games out there that I think everyone's going to be excited about. Right? Of course, beginning the season, the Knicks jumped right off from the beginning of the season right from the beginning of the season. And I'm going to bring this up once more so we can look at it. Right from the beginning of the season, you see the Knicks are playing right from the jump 3 games in 4 nights. Actually, 4 games in 6 nights right from the beginning of the season. They play San Antonio. That's the season opener. Then they go to Brooklyn. Then Boston. Then they're home for Boston. That's the season. That's the home opener. They get a day off and then they play home versus Chicago. So right there, right to begin this season, you got 4 games in 6 nights, ladies and gentlemen. San Antonio, Brooklyn, Boston, Chicago. And you're playing right off the jump, right off the bat. The Knicks are playing 3 playoff teams. Right off the bat. You San Antonio, Brooklyn, and Boston. And after they play Chicago, Orlando, you have Orlando as well, who potentially, I think, is probably a playoff team. So that's right off the bat. The Knicks are going to be challenged right off the bat. Right off the bat. All right, then you can see the rest of the schedule. October, the rest of October, Chicago, Orlando. You got Boston again in November. Sacramento, Detroit, Dallas. I'm pretty sure people are circling that on their calendar. The Knicks are away for that first game in Dallas. They don't play Dallas in Madison Square Garden until November the 14th. December looks like a tough month. I mean, November is not too bad. You got a few guys that, you can maybe get some wins. Sacramento, Detroit, maybe Dallas, Cleveland, Chicago, Dallas again, Charlotte, Cleveland. Philadelphia will be tough. San Antonio is going to be tough. Brooklyn should be tough. Toronto should be tough. Philadelphia should be tough. So you end November with a tough schedule. Then November is a tough schedule. December is a tough schedule. You have Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, Indiana, Portland, Golden State. So that the end of November going into December is a tough stretch. You're playing against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 playoff teams in a row. And then Sacramento, it's not like Sacramento that should be a tough game as well. So in a row, that November to December, it's like they're looking to ruin Thanksgiving for the Knicks with this schedule right here. It's a tough schedule, man. That's a tough schedule. Again, you got Philadelphia, San Antonio, Brooklyn, Toronto, Philadelphia, Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, Indiana, Portland, Golden State. That's a tough schedule, that November to December schedule, man. That's a tough one. And that right there could be an early make or break time for the Knicks. Could be an early make or break time for them, my friends. An early one. After December, after the Knicks play Sacramento, they move on and play Denver, Atlanta, Miami, Milwaukee, Washington, Brooklyn, Washington again. So the schedule gets a little bit lighter. Gets just a little bit lighter. Right? When you move into January, they'll start off with Portland. Then you got Phoenix. All right. Then you have a little bit of a tough schedule. You got the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Lakers. So they'll be staying in LA for a little while. Right? You got a West Coast trip here in the beginning of January. Phoenix, Clippers, Lakers, Utah. You got 3 tough teams right in a row. The Clippers, Lakers, and Utah. Then the Pelicans, they should be tough. I think they might be tough. Then you got Miami and Milwaukee. All right, so, in the beginning of January, you're playing some tough teams. You got Phoenix twice, but in between playing Phoenix, you got some tough teams in the Clippers, the Lakers, Utah, Pelicans, Miami, and Milwaukee. Then after you play Phoenix that second time, you got Philadelphia. Right, you got a couple. You got Cleveland, you got Chicago, but in between those guys, you got the Lakers again, Toronto, Brooklyn, and Memphis. Memphis might be kind of weak. So we'll see. And I'm not gonna go. Maybe next time we'll go line for line and try to predict what the Knicks might win. Not today, not right now. As you go into February, looking at the schedule, the Knicks have a couple winnable games. Cleveland, maybe Orlando. I don't know. Orlando is tough. Atlanta, Washington, Charlotte, Chicago. So maybe there's some winnable games in February. In March, maybe a mixed bag. You got Houston, Utah, OKC, Detroit. Those should be some tough games. That's a homestand. You got a 5-game homestand. And then you play Washington, Atlanta, Miami. That should be a tough game. Charlotte shouldn't be too tough. You got Boston, Golden State, Clippers, Toronto, and Pelicans. So you got a stretch here in March. If the Knicks are in playoff contention at this late stage in March, this is going to be a tough stretch for them right here. Right, we're talking the middle of March. If the Knicks are in playoff contention, this is going to be a tough stretch. Boston, Golden State, Clippers, Toronto, and Pelicans. Those 5 teams, at least 4 of those teams, Boston, Golden State, the Clippers, Toronto, at least 4 of those teams are going to be in playoff contention. We'll see what happens with the Pelicans. If the Knicks are anywhere in playoff contention, this could be a stretch that knocks them out or gets them in. And then in April, you're going to end with Memphis, Minnesota, Miami, Orlando, OKC, Toronto, Detroit, Minnesota again. So that April schedule isn't too bad. If the Knicks are anywhere in playoff contention and they can fight through and weather through this March schedule, if they're near, they can weather through it, then get to this April schedule. Who knows what could happen, man? Maybe something bounces their way. We'll see what happens there. But this is the New York Knicks schedule, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you can download this schedule. Just go to NewYorkKnicks.com and you can download this schedule. NewYorkKnicks.com. Download the schedule. I have a couple games that I want to see on the schedule that I'm excited for. And I want to bring these over. Okay. Before I bring these over, though, I do want to remind you, since we're talking about the schedule, ladies and gentlemen, and I know you probably get tired of hearing it, but I'm going to remind you until all these tickets are gone. Sorry. But you can purchase tickets to the opening night game at Madison Square Garden. Reserve them now. I'm telling you, reserve them now. Get in on it now, ladies and gentlemen, because if you don't get in on it now, you're going to miss out. All right. And when you do purchase these tickets, when you put down your deposit, you're putting down a deposit for a lounge. Food is included. Not only is there a lounge, but you'll be able to enjoy the company of other NBK fans of the channel. You'll be able to enjoy their company. You'll also be able to go courtside before the game and watch the guys warm up. After the game, you'll get a chance to go down to the court, shoot a couple free throws on the Garden Court. All right. That's something you don't want to miss, ladies and gentlemen. I know you don't. So make sure that you make your deposits. Just go to nothingbutnicks.com right now and you can make your deposit, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Do that. Get it done. Get it over with. So you don't have to hear me continue to talk about it. And I'm pretty sure that you'll be happy with making your deposits and getting your tickets now before they're gone, because they will be gone soon enough. All right, let's talk about 10 must-see games. That's what I want to talk about right now. 10 must-see games. Games that you just can't miss out on. Let's take a look at them, ladies and gentlemen. At least this is what I think. October the 23rd versus San Antonio, at San Antonio. To me, it's a must-see game. Why? Because it's the first game of the season. Anytime you have a first game of the season, you want to see it. You want to see it, right? You're going to have the preseason, and then you want to get in and you want to see this first game of the season. You want to see how they're going to look, right? You want to see if they're going to look good, they're going to look bad, whatever. And they're playing a tough team. They're playing the San Antonio Spurs. October the 25th versus Brooklyn. They'll be at the Barclays Center. That's the first time that the Knicks are going to match off against Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets. And there's been so much talk going on this offseason about the Brooklyn Nets taking over New York City, becoming the team in New York City. Knicks fans, I want you to get to this game. Get to this game and make noise. Make a lot of noise. Mad noise. Make noise. Let them know it's the Knicks town. It's always going to be a Knicks town. The Knicks, October 25th versus Brooklyn. October the 26th versus Boston at home. That is the Garden home opener. You just heard me give you a whole spiel about getting your tickets right now. So don't miss it. October 26th versus Boston. November 8th at Dallas. It'll be the first time that the Knicks face off against Kristaps Porzingis. I know it's not at the Garden, but it's going to be the first time that the Knicks face off against Kristaps Porzingis. And I want to see it. I'm pretty sure you want to see it. Even though it's not going to be at the Garden. November the 14th versus Dallas. That's at the Garden. I know you want to see that one. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be off the hook. You can believe that. It's going to be off the hook, man. Kristaps Porzingis is, I'm pretty sure, going to get booed like crazy by the Garden crowd. You know, they're going to let him know. They're going to let him have it. So that's going to be a heck of a night. That's going to be a crazy night. November the 24th, Brooklyn at home versus Brooklyn. It's going to be the first time Kyrie Irving comes to the Garden as a Brooklyn Net. So that's going to be crazy. Anytime that the Knicks play Brooklyn throughout this season, it's going to be a game. It's going to be an exciting game, a big game that you want to see. But the first two are going to be the most raucous, the most ruckus, right? You know, the first one in Brooklyn, October the 25th. That's the second game of the season. So, you know, that's going to be, you know, it's going to be big, especially if the Knicks are able to get a win versus San Antonio. It's definitely going to be big. And then the second time they play Brooklyn, November the 24th, is going to be at the Garden. So it's going to be big. November the 27th in Toronto. It's the first time that R.J. Barrett is going to return to Canada as a New York Knick, as a professional basketball player. So, you know, that's, for Knicks fans, maybe it's kind of like, but for R.J. Barrett, that's going to be a big night. Right? So we need to be there. So we need to support the brother. Make sure we're tuning in and watching him. January 5th at the Clippers. January 7th at the Lakers. And I have these two down. I know they're not at the Garden. And some people would say, well, don't you think seeing them at the Garden for the first time is bigger than them being in LA? But the reason why I did it is because the Knicks are playing these two teams back to back. They're gonna stay at the same arena, play the Clippers, and then play the Lakers. So, you know, I have those. So I personally want to see how the Knicks respond to playing these two teams back to back. You know, having the young guys there and those type of things. Right. But, you know, if you want to say, you know, the other dates later on in January, the Lakers will be at the Garden. LeBron James coming to the Garden. Anthony Davis coming to the Garden for the first time as a Los Angeles Laker. So I can understand if you want to, you know, if you want to say, nah, these are the games. I can get that. As a matter of fact, that's January 22nd when LeBron James and Anthony Davis come to the Garden as a Los Angeles Laker. I can get that. And then March 23rd, that's when the Los Angeles Clippers will come to the Garden. And then January 10th versus the Pelicans. For the first time, Zion Williamson will be at Madison Square Garden as an official NBA player. Well, it's not the first time. They do play against each other in preseason. They play against each other in preseason, but it would be the first time in an official NBA game that Zion Williamson steps on the Garden floor to play the Knicks. So that's going to be electric. It's going to be big. Zion at the Garden. That's going to be big. And not to mention, Julius Randle will also be playing against his former team, the New Orleans Pelicans. So that should be a big game, an exciting game to watch. Exciting game to watch. So that's my 10 must-see games of the season. And as the season goes on, there may be more. Who knows what's going to happen. All right. And I also didn't mention that on October 26th, when the Celtics come to the Garden, not only is it the home opener, but Kemba Walker will play at the Garden as a Celtic for the first time. All right. So there you go, man. Those are my 10 must-see games. I want to know what your must-see games are. Games that you're really looking forward to seeing throughout this season. All right. So I'm going to come to the chat. I'll also take some calls if you want to call in. 516-405-2246. And we can talk about it a little bit. Again, my 10 must-see games. October 23rd, San Antonio. October 25th, Brooklyn. October 26th, at the Garden versus Boston, the season opener at the Garden. November 8th at Dallas. November 14th at home versus Dallas. November 24th at home versus Brooklyn. November 27th at Toronto. RJ Barrett returns to Canada. January 5th at the Clippers. January 7th at the Lakers in the same arena. And then January 10th, Zion Williamson will come to the Garden. So let me know, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your favorite games of the season are going to be. Because this, look, man, with this team, I feel like we're in for some exciting times. Some fun times. I really do. And, I can't wait to get this thing started. I'm excited. Now that the schedule is out, I'm super excited. You know what I mean? Super duper excited. I'm going to go ahead and get to the video chat. I want to know what you guys think, man. I want to know what you guys, actually, we just got a phone call. So let's go to the phone call first, and then I'll get back to you guys. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
Hey, what's going on with you, bro? How you feeling?
Not much. I'm all right. How's everything with you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Real good. So tell me, my man, what are the games that you really want to see this season?
Well, I don't really have specific games picked out because I just want to see him play. But I just have an observation from what I was looking at the schedule is, and I know we're not breaking down, but so I don't want to get too intricate with it. But the first 20 games, I think, is our only hope.
You said that's
after December 1st, it gets rough.
Not even after December.
We start playing heavy hitters after December 1st.
Well, it's before December 1st. That schedule, like I said earlier, that schedule starting November the 20th is tough. Look, November 20th, we play Philadelphia. November 23rd, we play San Antonio. November 24th, we play Brooklyn. November 27th, we play Toronto. November 29th, we play Philadelphia. December the 1st, we play Boston. December the 2nd, Milwaukee. December the 5th, Denver. December the 7th, Indiana. December the 10th, Portland. December 11th, Golden State. So you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games that are all tough games against playoff caliber teams. It's not going to be a joke right there.
No, it's definitely no joke. But I'm only going by the fact where I wanted to, because I'm not giving San Antonio, I'm not giving them a better team than the Knicks off the jump. Same with Brooklyn, because, I mean, if KD was there, I'd give it to him. But KD's not there, and they got rid of Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. They got rid of Trevor Graham, a couple of really nice role players. And Kyrie, I got to see him work with that team. I don't think he's just going to walk in and gel. And same thing with Boston. I mean, they just lost Rozier. They lost, Kyrie. They lost Marcus Morris. They lost Al Horford. I mean, they replaced Al Horford with cancer. And they lost Aaron Baines. So I think Boston and the Nets are going to take a little time to gel. So I think that's why that first month is going to look like we're going to jump. We're going to jump then. I mean, we got to go a little better than 500.
I mean, I will say that first month. I mean, I think San Antonio is going to be tough. San Antonio is always tough. San Antonio, I think they're going to be tough. That first month,
they're tough.
Right. Those first 3 games, we played 3 potential playoff teams. Look, Brooklyn and Boston are most likely going to be playoff teams in the East, in my opinion. San Antonio is most likely going to be a playoff team in the West. So you got 3 playoff teams right off the bat. And then you got Orlando in those first 5 games, could likely be a playoff team in the East. You got Chicago. You play Boston again. Now you got Sacramento, Detroit, Dallas, Cleveland. So those are, and then Chicago, and then Dallas, and then Charlotte. So yeah, there are some games in that first 20 that are winnable. Like I said, Chicago, maybe Orlando, Sacramento, Detroit, Dallas, Cleveland, Chicago, Dallas, Charlotte, Cleveland. Okay? So you got, of those first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The first 14 games, you play against 1, 2, 3, 4 bona fide, just about definite playoff teams. Right? And then you have Detroit, Orlando, who are on the cusp. They could get in, they may not get in. And then the other teams, Cleveland, Chicago, Dallas, we're not sure what they really are. Charlotte, Cleveland, again, those teams, obviously, they could be winnable games for us. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's why I was like, I'm hoping, and it's all hope here. We don't know how good the Knicks are, how good any other team's going to be right today, but I'm just that was just my observation. I thought just because they're playoff teams, they were playoff teams last year, but they're not as solid as they were. They didn't come in like the whole, so they're rebounding with the same team. There's a lot of flux, and I'm just the way I look at our team with our players. I just think if we're going to make a move, it'd be nice to see us come out and be, 13 and 7,
Oof.
13 and 7, 12 and 8.
All right. Well, let's do this.
Before we hit those juggernauts, because once we get to December and you got Milwaukee, then Golden State, then Portland, then
well, the juggernauts, in my opinion,
500.
Yeah, I mean,
10 games under.
In my opinion, the juggernauts begin in November. Kind of, not. I know what you're saying with the Portlands and Denvers and Golden States. Maybe and Golden State maybe is not. We'll see what Golden State is. Man, the Knicks played Boston 3 times within the first half of the season. Wow. They played Brooklyn 3 times in the first half of the season.
Yeah, I'd rather play them in the first half before they start to gel.
Yeah, okay. Hey, man, I appreciate the call, bro.
No, thank you very much.
Without a doubt,
thank you very much, Tim, and have a good night. Welcome to the chat.
No doubt. Peace. So let's look at that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad he brought that up, and I have the season schedule up right now. You're looking at, if you look at the first 20, if you want to look at the first 20, it's kind of a mixed bag. And there is a stretch where the Knicks really could maybe tie together a couple wins early. You know, we'll see. That first, you know, I'm hoping those first 3 games, I'm hoping we can get a win, beat one of those teams, preferably Brooklyn. And we can, you know, we get out of those first 2 games, 1 and 2, you know, and then maybe try to, you know, string something together. Those first 3 games, maybe we're 1 and 2. You got Boston again within that 2-week stretch. You know, maybe you can pull a win off with Boston, and then you got some, you know, some weaker teams that you know, maybe we can string together a couple wins early. So it could be favorable for the Knicks to string together a couple wins early and try to get some confidence under our belt. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
Black is time. Shout out to the chat. What's good, son?
I'm chilling, man. What's good with you?
I'm good. I was just looking at the schedule with you and shit. Oh my bad. That's I agree with the last caller.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%. Them first 20 games is gonna be crucial. The end of December gets nasty, and then December and January is rough. Back to backs. You know, 4 games in 6 nights.
Yeah, man. We got it's 3 back-to-backs in December alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 back-to-backs in December alone. That's going to be, not to mention we're playing some tough teams. I mean, 2 of our let's look at our back-to-backs in December. Our back-to-backs, well, first of all, our back-to-backs in October, we play 1 back-to-back in October. That's Brooklyn and Boston, playoff teams. Right? In November, the back-to-back that I missed earlier, playoff teams, San Antonio and Brooklyn, both playoff teams. Right? And then when you get into December, and we play the first back-to-back in December, the first and the second, 2 playoff teams, Boston and Milwaukee. Then in the middle of December, I think it's the 10th and the 11th, 2 more playoff teams, Portland and Golden State. Then when we getting towards, you know, closer to the end of the month, play 2 more playoff teams. Potentially, Miami is potentially a playoff team. Right? The 20th and the 21st, you play Miami and Milwaukee back to back. Yo, that's tough, man. That's tough. So our first 5 back-to-backs are against potential playoff teams. Our first 5 back-to-backs. And I mean every single team of those back-to-back sets will probably make the playoffs or will have a very, very good chance of making the playoffs in their respective conferences. It's tough.
Yeah, this schedule kind of put my win total. It dropped my win total for us.
Yo,
I was a little optimistic before the schedule, but
yo, it's tough.
Yeah.
And then in January, our first back-to-back in January is the Lakers and the Utah Jazz. Right? I mean, that, and not to mention, like, that week you're playing the Clippers, you get a day off, then you play the Lakers, then right after you play the Lakers, you go to Utah and you play the Jazz. So you're playing 3 tough teams and you're playing 2 defensive teams that's going to grind it out with the Clippers and the Jazz. That's tough. You know, we don't get a rest with the back-to-backs as far as playing tough teams until we play Charlotte and Memphis later on in January. You know, so those are 2 weaker teams on a back-to-back.
Yeah.
You know, and then in February, one of the back-to-backs that I missed, we played Detroit and Atlanta. That's 2 weaker teams on a back-to-back. Then later in February, you play Charlotte and Philadelphia. So you got 1 weak team, 1 good team. Then in March, you play Washington and Atlanta. You play Charlotte and Boston. Then you play the Pelicans in Chicago. So it evens out a little bit towards the later part of the schedule. But man, that early part of the schedule with those back-to-backs, man, that's crucial. That's crucial.
Yeah. it's tough, yo. It's almost like the people who was predicting the total wins for us seen the schedule before we did. Because
yeah. You know what I mean?
It didn't make any sense, but now, now it kind of does. Like, unless we really overachieve or come out the gate smoking hot to give us some kind of cushion.
A little bit of cushion,
for the 2 months.
Yeah.
2.5 months.
It's definitely going to be a challenge, man, with some of the back-to-backs that we got to play. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging, but let's see.
A couple of the games I want to call out. Definitely the Boston game, the Brooklyn games. I think I want to try to go to that Brooklyn game that's on the back-to-back. I think it's before the Pelicans at the Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I want to potentially go to that one. I want to see the Pelicans, of course. Take a look. I'm not even interested in seeing us against the powerhouses per se. Unless we're overachieving, unless we come out the gate and we doing something, then I'll be intrigued. So I really want to see our young guys versus the other younger teams, Atlanta. Who else we got? Dallas, of course.
Yeah, man. I do want to see us play against the big dogs. I just enjoy seeing us play against the big, especially if we're doing well. If we're doing well and we look like we're shaking things up, I definitely want to see us play against the big dogs. I can understand what you're saying, though. We're not doing well. We're not overachieving. We're playing like some trash. You don't want to see us get blown out that quick.
Yeah, I'm going to watch every game, but, I'm not going to be, if I got to work or leave work, I might just stay at work and catch the second half.
Yeah.
A little bit more this year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. But hey, Tony, are you able to join us in the appearance?
Not at this moment. In about a half hour, if you're still gonna be on, I could probably jump on.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's see if you can maybe get on about a half. See if you can get on. I'm about to get to these guys and see what they think about the schedule.
No doubt. Shout out to the chat.
No
doubt.
Black
this time.
Peace.
What?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Although every team plays the same teams, the way that your schedule is constructed could be tough. So let's get to these guys. I want to see what these guys initial reactions. Nate, go ahead, man. What's your initial reaction? What you think?
Oh man, they didn't do a favor for the Knicks, that's for sure. They never do, really. A lot of back-to-backs.
13.
A lot of, you said 4 games, and there's how many 4 games in 6 nights?
About 10. About 10 of them. Maybe it's a little more, whatever. I have to look at it again. But I think it's about 10 sets of 4 games in 6 nights.
Yeah. For a young team, that can be good and bad in the sense that you build camaraderie and, cohesion. But it's also bad in the sense that, you can get injured too. Those young legs, they're going to hit that wall, and, who knows where their bodies are going to be at that point. So it could take a toll on them. There's no doubt about that. I think one thing we never talk about with the schedule is that the Knicks are always going to have a rough March and April because the Garden is rented out for the Big East tournament. And the Knicks have to go on the road every time. So no matter what, the Knicks are always going to have a tough situation unless they move the tournament somewhere else, which I don't think that's ever going to happen. So the Knicks are going to be on the road. Usually they go on their West Coast trip around that time. So,
let me see. The Knicks go on a West Coast trip.
It's usually that week when the tournaments happen, right before March Madness.
Well, they go on a West Coast trip in January. Right? You got Phoenix, the Clippers, the Lakers, and Utah. Then they go on not a West Coast trip, but an East Coast trip in March.
That's it.
Washington,
That's it right there.
Atlanta and Miami.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's probably the equivalent. I guess they change it up. Usually, it's sometimes a West Coast trip, but I guess they did an East Coast trip this time. So, still games on the road. Back to and multiple games on the road. That's always going to be tough, especially if you're vying for a playoff seed.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, they're playing those games on the road. Washington is weak, Atlanta is weak, Miami. We'll see what they are. So we'll see.
I mean, the optimist in me wants to say that we'll win some games that people don't expect us to win.
Well,
but the reality is we were the worst team in the NBA. So really no game is a given for us. Yeah. I mean, especially with the younger squad we have. The two games that I'm really excited about, of course, the KP thing, that's going to be crazy. I mean, a year ago we were calling this guy the franchise player, or some people were. And now he's going to become public enemy number one on the court in the Garden. And then the second game is the Sixers. I want to see the Sixers when they come to the Garden because that game gets chippy.
Yeah.
I'd love for somebody to rough up Joel Embiid, man. I can't stand that guy.
Well, I mean,
I really don't like him at all.
Yeah. The Knicks have kind of a different team, so we'll see if it still gets chippy. I wanted to talk to Kodak Vlog, I think that's his name, in the chat real quick because you said that you're not worried about the 4 games and 6 nights, and I understand what you're saying. Kodak Vlogs, I get exactly what you're saying. You said because the guys are young and those type of things. So you're not worried about the 4 games and 6 nights, but it's not just 4 games and 6 nights. A lot of times, those games, those four games and 6 nights include travel as well. Like if you look at the very first game, and I know it's not that far, right? But they're in San Antonio, and then they travel to Brooklyn, and then from Brooklyn, so they're basically home back in New York, and then they go to Boston, and then from Boston, then they're home for Boston, home for Chicago. All right, so that's not too bad. All right, but there's still a little bit of travel involved. All right, the next time they do 4 games and 6 nights, it's going to be in December, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, from November going into December. So you're in Toronto, then you're home for Philly, home for Boston, then you fly out to Milwaukee. So I guess that's not too bad either. Because after they fly out to Milwaukee, they're home. They get 2 days off, and then they come back home for Denver and Indiana. It's not too bad either. All right, but you got to look at how some of the travel schedule is laid out when they're doing these 2 games, 4 games, and 6 nights. Sometimes it can be tough. It take a toll on. I know you said young guys, but it can take a toll on some of these young guys, especially the RJ Barretts and the Iggies, that may not be used to that type of schedule, especially when you get into that January, February. That's when those guys really start to hit that rookie wall. Right now, we got 2 rookies on the team. Still, Kevin Knox is young, Alonzo Trier is young guys. These guys burn out a little bit, but the veterans that we have on the team can hopefully teach them how to eat right, get proper rest, do those type of things so that they don't burn out. So let's hope. I hope you're right, Kodak. I hope you're right. I hope that, their youth and the veterans being able to show them how to manage those type of things. I hope it comes into play. Still, those 4 games and 6 nights, not a joke. I do a lot of traveling myself. And when I'm just out of my home for 5 nights in a row, you start to get tired just because you're not home. It's weird. It's crazy. It's a weird thing though. Let me see what I'm gonna come to. Guermo, I'm coming to you, man. What's going on, man? Tell me some games you really looking forward to.
There's a few games I'm looking forward to. First of all, that Mavericks game, I'm definitely looking forward to, man. I want to destroy KP. He's probably not going to be 100% healthy, but he's going to feel it. I think there's going to be a few games There's going to be a few games that he plays in Dallas, and he's going to see that the allure of Dallas is just not the same as New York City. Yeah. So when he comes back, he's going to have that face like, damn, I probably messed up. And hopefully we're a few games above 500 or whatever, and make him feel it. That the Nets game is going to be big, even though it's going to be a premature validation, but it's going to be a game where we got to make a statement where, we don't care if you have Kyrie and all that stuff. We got to put a dagger in their chest and keep it there in terms of beating them. I think it's the second game of the season or something like that. So That's going to be a big game. I think there's some other big games. Look, Zion, the Pelicans game, that's going to be huge because it's going to be RJ Barrett versus Zion. I don't know when it happens, but if it happens fairly deep into the season, you're going to get the timeline, or you're going to get the whole narrative of that the Pelicans make a mistake by picking Zion over RJ Barrett. And hopefully it comes out that way because I think RJ Barrett is better than Zion. Zion's going to need a lot of help, a lot of development. I will say one thing about that team, though. They do have the piece for it, but that's for another day to talk about. And some other big games, man, because everybody talks about, look, we're going to be playing a lot of tough teams early on in the first month or so, whatever, right? But that's going to be a litmus test, right? How well can these guys gel together? How well the veterans are ingratiating themselves to the team? How well they integrate themselves to the team? And how well Fizzo can manage his team. Look, we talk about is the 4 out of 6 nights type of games, blah, blah. We talked about in the chat room, the best way to offset that is, one, you have a game plan where you don't necessarily have a guy playing a lot of minutes every night, or you don't have a guy being a main scorer, right? You kind of pace him. You push him along. Hey, maybe RJ Barrett doesn't go for 20 shots tonight. He still takes the ball. He plays defense. He does other things to kind of keep his mind and his body fresh and do other things to help the team still win. You know what I mean? So a lot of teams like the Lakers I'm looking forward to. That's going to be a statement game because it's going to be the LeBron AD thing. AD still hasn't signed. So if AD looks at it, it could be the thing. I heard a rumor, even though I think it's BS, that AD, if things falter with the Lakers, he might be looking at the Knicks. That's a game where, look, if the Lakers aren't doing too well, it might be that narrative of, hey, the Knicks are doing well at the time. If they are doing well, AD might be considering, hey, I might make that switch in the summer. I'm not saying we should focus on that.
The narrative might be there.
The narrative. No, right. Narratives. And that's, hey, as long as the Knicks are winning and you're making yourself attractive, those narratives are going to happen. Yeah. Also, I think the Bucks is a big game because, look, Giannis, that Bucks team, I think they're going to take the East. So I look at that as a humongous game for us. And then also the Celtics, because I want to destroy Cantor. Like, this dude Cantor, he's like a troll. I want to see Julius Randle put up another 45 on Cantor so bad.
Why are people so? I don't even care about Cantor, man.
He's corny. It's like Sim. It's like the one dude. All right, put you know what Cantor is? He's like the one dude in like high school, right? He said he said a little corny. He's so corny, and he said a joke about you to people that you know of, and it's like. And they laughed at it, but it's like they kind of just laughed at it because they're in the moment. But he's so corny. Like you feel like, damn, I didn't get him back for that. Like you know that you're better than him. You're gonna have a better life than him. Everything in life is looking up. Everything in his life is looking down. But you just gotta just give him a good gill or a good slap in the back of the head, just one more time, just to rub it in. He's corny, like, dude.
Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I feel like the NBA threw KP a bone.
They threw KP what with the scheduling?
Yes.
Why? Because it's close to each other, right? I think.
No, because they play Dallas in Dallas first.
Yep.
Right. So what's that do? That gives KP and the coaching staff a chance to, okay, let's figure out how we can make sure KP plays a game in New York.
I think so.
It gives him a chance, though, right? They play in Dallas. Maybe he stinks it up. Who knows? But now, coming back to New York, they have time to figure out, okay, what do we do to make sure KP looks good? That's
right. That's a good point.
And then that one's on national TV, too. The one at the Garden, obviously, because he's coming to the Garden and he used to play with the Knicks. But I feel like they threw him a bone.
That's too conspiracy. Well, you got to make sure, are the Knicks coming back from a road trip at that time? Because usually they try to bunch all those West Coast games together sometimes to kind of get them out the way. So are the Knicks coming from a West Coast game or a West Coast trip?
When in November, when the Knicks play in November,
no, they're not. They just go. That's a weird game. They just go over to the Mavericks.
Well,
and then,
at Detroit, and then they go over to Dallas, and then they come back to Cleveland and Chicago.
yeah, that's a weird schedule.
Then they come home and play Dallas again.
That's weird. But you know what? I disagree with that, Sim, on the conspiratorial side. The reason why is because KP, I don't think that the NBA is sold. Look, KP could be an international star. He can be. But I'm not sure the NBA is truly sold on selling KP as this big star they're trying to, like, artificially amp up, right? So I understand what you're saying is, like, kind of give him, like, the scouting report on the Knicks, allow him to get that one dirty game of where he might be nervous, blah, 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 but is at his home and then come back stronger. But it's like, I don't think they see KP as that guy yet. It's kind of, his career's still kind of in limbo.
But
that
I get that, right? But wouldn't you want KP to have a good game at Madison Square Garden on TNT or ESPN, whichever it's on? So you give him the best chance possible.
True, but it's KP. It's not LeBron. It's not Giannis. I can see a conspiracy. I can see the side, but don't get on me when I got conspiracies, man, about NBA. But I see you on the.
But he's marketable. He's marketable. He's not LeBron, but he's marketable.
He's marketable, but that knee injury and Dallas, right? That's a big experiment, Sim. Like, Doncic is the guy, and maybe they might sell him as a package, but KP getting hurt and the fact that KP is faded at the end of a few seasons, he is now on the same level as, say, Giannis. Giannis is a guy is like he's superstar type level. KP is possibly top all-star level, maybe international star, but I don't think he's a guy who could carry the league. So I don't know if the league is really looking out for him like that, but.
I feel like in this situation, I feel like they look. I'm gonna go to Andy right now, but I feel like in this situation they looked out for him. And Isaiah, don't roll your eyes no more, man. I'll take you out. When I seen when I said I was gonna go to Andy, I seen you roll your eyes and did all that. You know what I'm saying? You rolling your eyes for Andy. What's going on, man?
Yo, I was gonna say Sam, that I gotta be silent because Isaiah got me unmuted. I don't want to wake him up. He was sleeping like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. So Andy, what games are you looking forward to, man?
Well, it's mostly the games that you guys were talking about. I was thinking maybe the Nets games. The San Antonio game, of course the Dallas game, also the LA game, but mostly about the schedule when it pop up. I was trying to look at the the homestand because I was always looking to drop by New York to get a few games live.
Right.
And also at the game times, I was looking for the noon games. We don't have a noon game, and those games were awful for us last season.
Yeah.
So I'm happy we don't have those 12 a.m. games. I actually, it's hard to talk about the schedule for me because I don't know how the team is going to pan out. After the few, even the preseason games, we're going to see how the team looks and what games we can actually be happy about and look for. Except, that the media games that, the Dallas ones that they're going to be, with a subtitle and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Andy, do you think the NBA gave KP a pass on that one, man? I feel like they threw him a bone. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. And you know why I think so? I think because it's early in the season. I think he can, blame it on, I'm still rusty, I still not back and stuff like that. So I think it's really, I was looking at the positioning of the Dallas games. I was thinking it's going to be like around January where the game still means something. And he could be like in a little bit better shape in game wise.
Right. Yeah. I don't care what Guillermo says. I think they threw him a bone, man. They threw that guy a bone. They threw him a bone. Because going back to New York, it's going to be raucous. It's going to be a hectic crowd. It's going to be a fiery environment, and they want KP. It's going to be on national TV. They want KP to perform at his best. So that's my opinion, man. That's what I think. That's what I think they did. All right, Isaiah. See, he's asleep. I'm taking him out. Yo, I mean, you can't be sitting out here asleep. Nobody wants to see you sleeping.
Ain't nobody sleeping, man.
Don't even close your eyes, man. You sitting here sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping. Don't do that to me, man. I wasn't sleeping. I was listening to Andy, man. Andy, got that Morgan Freeman Polish voice.
Look,
I'm just trying to
look. Nobody wants to see you drooling on your pillow. All of that. Nobody wants to see that, man. For real. Nobody wants to see it. So come on.
Hey, listen. What's up, sir? What's up?
One, do you think the NBA threw KP a bone, and what's the games that you want to see?
I was disappointed in that, Sam, when I seen that the Knicks plays so closely to the Mavericks. I thought they should have had a little more hype to the games because, I didn't like that because you don't have the game so close to each other where KP can get into a little rhythm and look good with the Knicks and all that other stuff. I wouldn't like that. I wanted it to be fresh. So yeah, I didn't appreciate that. Especially with all this KP crap, and then God forbid if KP has a great game against the Knicks and MSG, then it's gonna go. Then ESPN the next day. Max, I already know now. Max Kellerman. James Dolan's an idiot for letting KP go, and the Knicks are idiots for letting KP go. That's the first thing he's gonna say, man. And then you're gonna have Stephen A. Smith crying and complaining on TV. Oh, the Knicks should have never did this, and the Knicks should have. Listen, man. I don't want that. I'm over that, man. I'm over KP. He's not on the Knicks no more. Sorry, Mark, if you're watching this. He's not on the Knicks no more. I don't care about that narrative no more. It's over. This dude who claimed he had so much secrets to say about the Knicks never said them. I just don't want that. I just don't want that to go over the Knicks because I want this season to be about us winning as much games as possible and get into the playoffs. Now, I just don't want that narrative to be pushed if KP has a good game against the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, I just don't like that, man. I just because I feel like saying this year I think we have a real chance of being drama free. Knock on wood, we have a good chance of being drama free, man. Of all the crap, I don't think we have the right guys in here. That none of them carry drama. All of these guys are professionals, and I just want that to be the season. I don't give a damn if I'll be happy if the Knicks go underrated, man. I was happy that the Knicks only got 3 primetime games. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about them being on TNT, being on ESPN. I don't care about that because listen, I don't care about ESPN because as much time as they whip the Knicks, I don't want them even on ESPN. Yeah.
Right, so tell me some games you're looking forward to because you're rambling. I don't know where you're going.
Okay, son. Anyways,
I'm just saying. You're rambling. I didn't know where you were going with it. You were just like whatever popped in your mind. You know what I'm saying?
See, this was me and Gim will be talking about this, but we're going to talk about that later.
You going to talk about what? You going to talk about what?
Don't worry about it.
I already know. So
it's me and my buddy. I know. Me and my buddy Guillermo.
Well, Grandma said, when you're not here, I tease him. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. I already know.
Yeah. Anyway, the games I'm most happy to see. The games I'm happy to see, man. I put all our rivalry games into one because we got Indiana, Miami, Boston, LA. I put those in one pretty much.
Are they really rivalry games anymore? Do we have the only rival right now that I would think that the Knicks have is Brooklyn. It's not even a basketball rival. It's more about the city.
I guess so. I guess we don't really have rivals no more. I guess not. Nobody has rivals no more.
The Knicks not right now because we haven't been in the playoffs. In order to have some rivals, true basketball rivals, you got to be in the playoffs. To me, that's when you start forming rivals, man.
But I agree with Guillermo. I want to see the game. I want to see Cantor get his ass kicked because that dude was just so much antics last year. And I'm sorry, I didn't like it. You know what, man? Listen, man. I want the Knicks to go 3-1 against Brooklyn. I do. I really, really do. I'm gonna be real. I know it's not gonna be a sweep, but I would love for the Knicks to go 3-1 against Brooklyn this year, so we can shut some people up, man. Of course, I want to see the Lakers game. I'm interested to see the Clippers game, even though that might end up being a blowout. But I want to see a Clippers game. I want to see Zion versus RJ.
Yeah, I'm just interested in seeing the Clippers play, man, because they're gonna.
Oh, I think they're gonna be so good defensively, man. They're gonna be so good defensively.
Defensive juggernauts, man. And they're gonna be so tough to beat because they're so good defensively. It's gonna be crazy.
But I think, of course, the Brooklyn game is number one. LA Lakers, the Clippers I want to see. I want to see the Pelicans. And you know what? I'm going to throw a surprise out there. I want to see the Hawks because I think the Hawks have a young nucleus and I like it. I think we're both a young team. I'd love to see the Hawks versus the Knicks, see how those two will play against each other.
Okay.
And, that's about it. That's all I want to see this year.
The Hawks.
Right. And the Mavericks, but the Hawks is like a random team. I think that would be good for us.
All right. City, I'm coming over to you, man. I know you had some things you wanted to talk about with the schedule, man.
Yeah, yo, I'm burning, man. Yo, so check it, Sim. All right, yo, I'll put it like this, right? I'm gonna get straight into it.
All right.
I look at it like this. I want to see the games, right? I want to see the games against the teams that we lost against. I want to see the games. No, hold on. Feel me out. I want to see the games against the Bulls. All of the teams, all right, so like I said, the Bulls, the Nets. Of course, everybody want to see that. But I'm talking about the teams that we lost against that we could have beat. Now that we have the talent to get back in the mix, because we lost so many games by maybe less than 8 points, 5 points. We lost so many games by that. So I want to see us come back and beat those lower class teams and get back in the mix of winning basketball, yo. Because if we can't come back and beat those teams that beat us when we didn't have the talent, and now that we do have the talent, bro, that's just it's not good for Knicks basketball. You feel me? Because we coming in there losing games against teams that we lost 5, I said it again, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, and they were not even good teams. They weren't even good teams. They weren't even playoff teams.
And some of it was just, in my opinion, the way that it was just the Knicks' strategy for last year. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that, but we got to come back now. We got to come back and beat those teams and get those wins that could have pushed us to the playoffs. Because if we didn't win those, what was it? I think I can't remember right now. So excuse me. But I think it was 10 or 12 games that we lost by less than 8 points. If we could win those games right now, and you put those 10 or 12 wins on our team, although we were doing a tank joint, I get it. But if you could put those 10 or 12 on there right now with the talent that we had, right, that would push us to what? Let's just say 10. We had 17 wins last season. That'll push us to 27, right? So take the talent that we got now. If we could win those games and then some, because I'm looking forward to all of those teams that destroyed us. Phoenix destroyed us. I'm looking forward to all of those teams that destroyed us. So that way we can come back and get in the mix. And then, of course, again, I'm going to say I'm rooting for my guy, Alpha Wall Street. Let's get it. Good. Yeah.
I feel you. We do. We got to beat the teams. If we can just at least beat the teams that we're supposed to beat, and then see what happens from there. My problem is...
That's what I'm saying, man.
My only problem is I don't know what teams we're supposed to beat yet. You feel me? I don't know who we're supposed to beat yet because I don't know what
We're supposed to beat the teams like Chicago, Charlotte, Phoenix.
I mean, we say we're supposed to beat those
even
guys.
Memphis, because there were teams that we beat that we shouldn't have beat. We beat the Lakers. We shouldn't have beat them last year. I mean, so come on, we can't even go back and forth with that because I can't remember. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We even beat Milwaukee. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, who are we really trying to say? Should we beat what? Should we beat this?
Okay. Nah. All right. I feel you. I mean, I'm just, right now I feel like I don't know who we're supposed to beat. If there's anyone we're supposed to beat yet, I just don't know. We'll see what the team is. Nick, I'm gonna come to you, Nick. How you feel about the schedule? Games that you want to see, man. Tell me some games you really want to see. Nick, you there?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Let me mute everybody because
Yeah. Get them guys there.
Your haters on, man. Yeah, hold on. Isaiah got to go last. Man, all right, shut up. All right.
So, some games, man. Some games you really want to see.
Games I want to see. I want to see how we stack up against the Orlandos, the Chicagos, like a lot of podcast NBA teams. They say that Chicago is supposed to be a playoff. Let me just real. Once we beat these guys like Detroit, low level playoff teams, I want to see like if we beat them, if we actually play well with them, and then from there we could actually look at like how do we play against San Antonio, which is the first game, because we're gonna start off with 3 teams that didn't make the playoffs. Then we're gonna come into San Antonio, Brooklyn, and Boston. 3 teams that we that actually made the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to just like see how we stack up against certain teams and different playing styles. San Antonio, Boston, and also Brooklyn, they all play a different playing style from Atlanta and Washington that we play, and also you could kind of say New Orleans, but the difference in playing styles, it will be very interesting to see how we match up against.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. And, the Knicks are going to be tested. They're going to be tested early with different playing styles. They're definitely going to be tested when you get into, what is it? When we get into that November, December area, they're going to be tested, and, we'll know right then where the Knicks are going to be. It's early on in the season. But that November to December schedule could be a make or break for the Knicks a little bit, man. And the reason why I say that is because they're so young. It could be a time they're playing like 11 playoff teams in a row. If they're hitting like a 7, 8, 9, 10 game skid, that could break you right there.
But Sim, let me ask you this, because I was doing the math, like. Okay, everyone likes to say we got guys that would be easy trade targets, right? If the Knicks start off bad, because we got a bunch of games back-to-backs, a bunch of playoff teams that we play within that first 20 games, we could easily be 5-15 after that first 20 games.
Right.
How tradable are guys after that?
Right. It could be.
That's what makes it tough because, I like to always say you need some teams, and you could see it with Utah last year. San Antonio had a stretch like this. Sometimes you just need to play bad teams that are not in the playoffs so you could get your footing and like find yourself as a team. And like some teams just get good after playing bad teams in a row. And then they just start playing good teams better, because you could just experiment and you could just like find out what works.
True. Yeah.
But we don't have that within the first few games, except for the preseason.
Right. Yeah. And look, I'm hoping this year that the preseason doesn't boil over into the regular season, because it did last year. You know, I mean, look, we only have what, 4 preseason games. Play Washington twice, Atlanta, and the Pelicans. And then we get a little bit of a break, and the regular season begins. Last season, I mean, it was basically preseason the entire season. You know what I mean? But I'm really hoping that, you know, we come into the regular season, we have a set, we're going to have a set roster, but we have a set lineups, and Fizdale really knows what he wants to do with these guys. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping, you know, with the beginning of the season. It may be tough. It may be tough. You know, we'll see how that works out. For those who are just joining me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to recap this real quick for those who are just joining me. And if you're just joining me, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. Also, if you were talking about the Knicks' upcoming schedule, the 2019-2020 schedule, and opening night is October the 26th versus the Boston Celtics. It'll be the first time that Kemba Walker comes to the Garden as a Celtic, as one of the Knicks' arch rivals, as much as we can have a rival. So that should be exciting. But if you want to see this game, make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you put your down payment right now. You make your down payment right now for opening night. I'm putting it in the chat right now. There's a link right there where you can reserve your tickets for opening night. It'll be a lounge on Chase Bridge. Food is included. You'll get a chance to sit courtside and watch the players warm up. After the game, you get a chance to go on the Garden Court, shoot some free throws. And then we'll go to Walt Clyde Frazier's restaurant, hang, chill, talk, chop it up, do those type of things. It's a great time. We'll have a great time. We'll have a lot of fun. So if you're interested in that, please click that link and reserve your spot right now. There's less than 20 spots left. But if you're just joining me, we've been going over the Knicks' schedule for the last hour or so. And we're going to move on in a minute, but I want to recap for you. I want to make sure that you know. All right, so I'm going to hit you with a quick little recap. All right. And what you're looking at right now is a release from the New York Knicks. And I'm going to give you real quick, just some things real quick. And you can get this yourself. Go to twitter.com/New York Knicks _PR, and you can get this information. Opening night at MSG, as I just spoke about, is Saturday, October the 26th versus the Boston Celtics. Kemba Walker will be in New York for the first time as a Boston Celtic. The road opener, October the 23rd, is the first game of the season at San Antonio. The Knicks got their first 3 games is at San Antonio, at Brooklyn, and then home versus Boston. It's a tough schedule. New Year's Day, the Knicks play versus Portland, at home versus Portland. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day, the Knicks will be in Cleveland. Usually, there's a home matinee game at Madison Square Garden. Not this season. The Knicks will be at Cleveland. You got NBA All-Star Weekend, February 14th through the 16th. The Knicks have 5 consecutive home games. That's the highest amount of consecutive home games they have. They have they have a couple that are 3, a couple that are 2, home game stands. The longest home game stand is 5 games. That's February 29th through March 8th. So get your tickets. If you want to get your tickets, then you better get your tickets for that. Their longest stint of consecutive road games are 4 games. They do it twice. And there's actually a Rangers/Knicks doubleheader at MSG on November the 10th. So if that's a Sunday, so you can, get with your family and enjoy that day. The Knicks have only 3 televised games, nationally televised games, that is. November 14th versus Dallas, at home versus Dallas. December the 26th, at home, at Brooklyn, at the Barclays Center. Both those games are on TNT. And then January 10th, at home versus New Orleans, where Zion Williamson will be with the Knicks. Or not with the Knicks, will be at the Garden. And that game will be televised on ESPN. The Knicks play, again, 13 back-to-backs. All right, 13 back-to-back games by the New York Knicks. They also play 10 sets of 4 out of 6 nights. Okay, so they'll have 10 sets where they play 4 games in 6 nights. We'll see if that's tough for the young guys. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we'll see. The Knicks have a tough stretch a very tough stretch in November. Well, I'm sorry, November going into December, a real tough stretch. During this stretch, it'll start December to November the 20th. They'll play Philadelphia. They play San Antonio, Brooklyn, Toronto, Philadelphia again. They play Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, Indiana, Portland, Golden State Warriors, Sacramento, Denver. That's a tough schedule right there. A very tough schedule. I mean, you're looking in that schedule alone, the Knicks play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 playoff teams. And Sacramento, they're not a slouch. They're not a playoff team right now, but they're not a slouch. The Knicks will play 12 playoff teams in that stretch. That's tough. And actually, they play even more because you play Atlanta, then you play Milwaukee, then you play Miami and Milwaukee. All right, so that's 14 playoff teams in a matter of a month, man. That's going to be a tough schedule for the Knicks. Not only do the Knicks have a tough schedule between November and December, but from October to December, they play like 5 back-to-back games. But the thing about these back-to-backs, it's not just back-to-backs. Right? The first back-to-back is October the 25th and the 26th. Brooklyn and Boston, 2 playoff teams. The next one is in November. They play San Antonio and Brooklyn, 2 playoff teams. Then after that, they play Boston and Milwaukee back-to-back, 2 playoff teams. Then they play Portland and Golden State back-to-back, 2 playoff teams. Then Miami and Milwaukee back-to-back. I'm assuming that Miami is probably going to be a playoff team. 2 playoff teams back-to-back. And then you take that all the way into January, my friends. And they play the Lakers and Utah back-to-back. That's a tough schedule. The first half of the season is not going to be a joke for the New York Knicks. Now, the first 14, 15 games, the Knicks will have a chance to maybe build a little bit of a cushion or something. Right? Yes, they play San Antonio, Brooklyn, and Boston the first 3 games of the season. But then it's Chicago, Orlando, Boston again, then Sacramento, Detroit, Dallas, Cleveland, Chicago, Dallas, Charlotte, Cleveland. Okay, so you have a stretch here where there's some teams where the Knicks could possibly build something. You got, like I said, Chicago, maybe Orlando is kind of a good team. Maybe they're on the cusp. Boston's a good team. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams right here where you can possibly get some wins and maybe build something for yourself. The Knicks are going to need these first few games, these first 14, 15 games of the season to try to build themselves a little bit of a cushion. Right? They're going to need that. And let's hope that they can do it. And then build a cushion, build some confidence, and then take it into this tough stretch right here starting November the 20th and going all the way until the end of that back-to-back with Miami and Milwaukee. So this is the New York Knicks schedule, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you can download this schedule right here. Go to newyorknicks.com and you can download this schedule. All right. You can also take the schedule and put it on your calendar so that you never miss a New York Knicks game. All right. But this is the schedule. And look, I'm going to make a smaller video, a shorter video that's about 3 minutes long, where we're not going so much into depth as, the way that we did tonight. But you'll be able to come here and catch it in more depth if you like to. You know what I mean? Got 420 people in here that's enjoying breaking down the Knicks schedule. But this is the schedule, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more talk about the schedule. It's always exciting when the schedule comes out. Why? Because you know that the season is inching closer and getting closer and closer and closer when that schedule comes out. So it's always a fun moment when the schedule comes out. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, check out the schedule, break it down, see what you want to watch. And when you see what you want to watch and you find out exactly what you want to watch, I want you to do this. I want you to go to SeatGeek.com. Type in the code NBK. And if it's your first time there, you get a discount on your tickets. You get $20 off. All right. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. Again, go to SeatGeek.com when you buy your Knicks tickets this season. And if it's your first time there, put in the code NBK. Short for nothing but Knicks. NBK. And you'll get $20 off your initial purchase. You can't beat it, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and take care of that. Start getting your tickets together. And of course, join us for opening night. So let's get on to something else, man. Let's talk about some more Knicks news. The Knicks today announced that they signed Lamar Peters, which seems like it'll be an Exhibit 10 contract. Right? He's another guard. And, Lamar Peters will likely play with the Westchester Knicks. All right. Lamar Peters, he averaged 21 points. I'm sorry. He's 21 years old. He averaged 11.9 points, 5.2 assists, and 2 rebounds in 30 minutes per game during his junior season at Mississippi State last year. He earned a spot for the New York Knicks Summer League team after he went undrafted, and now the Knicks are picking him up to play with the Westchester Knicks. Other guys that the Knicks will have on the Westchester Knicks, you'll have Amir Hinton, most likely, VJ King, Kenny Wooten, Chris Wilkes. Chris Wilkes is a two-way player. Kadeem Allen, two-way player. Okay. These guys will be playing with the Westchester Knicks. I like some of these guys. Kenny Wooten, I really like Kenny Wooten. Chris Wilkes, a lot of us, we couldn't wait to see this guy play. He didn't get a chance to play in the Summer League, but we wanted to see Chris Wilkes play. And, Lamar Peters. So, listen, last year, the Westchester Knicks were pretty good. This year, it looks like, they picked up some talent. They may be pretty good again. Any thoughts, guys? Anybody have any thoughts on Lamar Peters? I knew Nate was going to have a thought. Nate got a thought on everything. Go ahead, Nate.
Yeah, man. I think this is a good signing as far as just kind of giving them another body to compete in the training camp. And who knows, man? I mean, this guy could turn heads on the team and, maybe sneak away on the roster. You just never know. Fizdale's always talking about competition. And one thing I read about this guy's all about defense. So if Fizdale's trying to turn the page on this team and start to make them more defensive minded, I mean, you got to bring in defensive players.
Okay.
And so I'd love to see him play for Westchester. I think he's gonna play. You know, I'm a big Kenny Wooten fan too, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to see this guy make the roster. I mean, because he's just got good defensive ability. You know, he's athletic. He's a good shot blocker. I just don't know how much Taj Gibson's got left in the tank, man. You know, and you know, if it doesn't work out with Taj, man, I would give Kenny Wooten a shot because he's got a lot of talent, and I really liked him in the summer league. I think that's the reason why they kind of signed him to a contract, because they really saw the potential in him.
Well, and see, I think that Kenny Wooten. I think that, well, first of all, he's not going to make this roster, in my opinion, unless there's some moves that are made. You know, there's some trades or something like that. Then maybe he gets a spot on the roster later on in the season.
Well, if Taj Gibson gets hurt, I mean, he could be a candidate to be moved up.
I mean, but the Knicks could be, but I think, in my opinion, what I think they're doing with Kenny Wooten is preparing him for the future. You know, trying to help him develop to prepare for the future. And I hate, listen, and this is just a pet peeve of mine, and I think I've said it before. I'm coming right back to you, Nate. Notice there I said the Knicks will help him develop. I hate when coaches say, this is how we are going to develop you. I hate that. Coaches don't develop players on their own. Yeah. Players develop themselves. Coaches are just there to be a resource and to help and to guide. But players develop themselves. Exactly. A coach is there to help them develop and to give them guidance. So I hate it when people say, we're going to develop this guy. How did the Knicks develop this player, develop that player? It doesn't happen that way. I don't care what nobody says. And you can try to convince me otherwise. I don't care what nobody says.
No, you're right. You're right. It's up to the player to determine how good they want to be.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that the Knicks, want to try to help him to develop, so that when these guys move on, because remember, these guys are on 1-year deals. When they move on, they got a power forward that they can bring into the fold. But Lamar Peters, right now, it's just collecting talent, collecting guys that possibly, that they see and say, hey, maybe this guy could, in a couple of years, be part of our system or be part of what we're trying to do. So. Hey,
Sim, I got a question for you real quick. Is Mike Miller on Fizdale's staff now, or is he coaching? Is he coaching the G League again?
No, Mike Miller I think he's on Fizdale's staff now.
Okay, cool.
Yep. I believe he is on Fizdale's staff. So that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, he did a really good job with the G League. So let's see what he does with the development on the bench.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing. All right, let me get around. See if anybody else have any comments or anything. Want to say anything about Lamar Peters? Feel anything about it, City, for real? Go ahead, City. Hey, you got yourself muted, bro. You got yourself muted.
All right. All right. Yo, we good?
Yep, you good.
All right. Yo, I just want to say this, man. I think it's a toss up, but if I would have to give the toss up to the guy, right, I want to say I would give the toss up to Wooten, like, you know what I mean? Because I think I like Peters. I like what he brings to the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he does have that. He's got I'll tell you what, he's got a good first step, and he's got good defensive capabilities, right? Mm-hmm. But I think Wooten, I think Wooten takes the cake when it comes to the defensive abilities. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just, man, it's hard because like they both got good defense abilities, but I can see one going over the other as far as when you get them into the playing field, when you get them onto the practices, I can see one stepping up above the other. But I could be wrong. So, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just stating my opinion.
Well, with both players, I don't think either player is going to be part of the roster. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't think either player is going to be part of the roster. I think each player is going to be, just training and developing with the Westchester Knicks, and then possibly, maybe, someday in the future, if a spot is available, they'd be ready to step in. But I think,
so I got a question for you, Sim. Can you see Woolen being a backup for Money Mitch?
Not right now. I mean, maybe one day in the future, yeah, because he's a shot blocker. Right, he's a shot blocker, but not right now. I think it'll be a little while. I think the Knicks are playing that stash game. We're gonna stash some players and then then bring them out when the time is right. That's what I think's happening with these guys.
Yeah.
Which that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. I feel you.
That's a good thing. I like. Back in the day, listen, San Antonio, this is what they used to do all the time, except back in the day, they were doing it overseas, right? They're stashing guys overseas, and then all of a sudden, they come in.
Oh, yeah.
These guys
they hit the field, and then they was on point.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what the Knicks are doing, and that's what they've, it really kind of started with Phil Jackson. Let's be real. People like to hate on Phil Jackson, but a lot of things that Phil Jackson put in place, Scott Perry, Steve Mills are still utilizing. You know what I'm saying? And, one of the things that he said that he wanted to do, and of course there's teams throughout the NBA that's doing it. It's not just the New York Knicks. But one of the things that Phil Jackson really said he wanted to do is really use the Westchester Knicks as a farm system, and I think the Knicks right now are really doing a good job at using the Westchester Knicks as a farm system. So it's good, man. The Knicks signed Lamar Peters. The Knicks signed Lamar Peters to a non-guaranteed contract. Good thing. Beautiful thing. I like it. I really do like it. And more Knicks news. The NBA rookies yesterday did their NBA rookie photo shoots. And you guys probably seen the video that I put out yesterday. RJ Barrett was rocking PUMA. So I'm hoping that he went ahead and signed with PUMA. You guys know I'm a big PUMA fan. I like Pumas. So I'm hoping he went ahead and signed with PUMA. If not, it's all good. But he was rocking, he was rocking the Pumas. And he was also, he had a Puma shirt, Puma sneakers. He was doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, here, big shout out to PUMA and RJ Barrett if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. I'm hoping that's the case. But at the photo shoot, RJ Barrett was interviewed, and I like some of the things that the kid has to say. Listen, RJ Barrett, he just makes a habit of saying the right things, man. He really does. He makes a habit of saying the right thing. Whether or not, he's been coached to say the right things, or he just gets it, or it's just, this is how he feels. Whatever it is, he does it right. Let's take a listen to RJ Barrett. This is RJ Barrett at the NBA rookie photo shoot.
How hungry are you to build off of what you did at the end of Vegas as you go into training camp?
Yeah, I felt like that really got my mojo going, so just trying to bring that into training camp is going to be good.
What do you want to work on? What do you feel?
What I'm feeling is, like I said this would happen. Your strengths, even like when you get to the NBA, you got to work on those too. So especially finishing, I missed way too many layups, so yeah.
Have you been working out with any teammates, or has it been just you alone?
Just me alone for the most part, because I'm in Canada. People aren't really coming up there, so.
Iggy might.
Iggy might, yeah.
And as you look ahead, obviously there's a lot of guys on this team that could be battling for starters, minutes off the bench. How do you see that? Do you see like it's going to be a daily battle? out in camp to establish yourself and guys looking to establish themselves?
I think that's what it's like on every team. Everybody got to go in and prove themselves.
Have you been able to talk to some of your new teammates, and are you going to be excited to kind of get that chemistry going? Morris joined the team now, and some of the new guys.
Yeah, we all have a group chat, so we all been talking, and it's really cool just to get to know some of the guys.
Will you guys get together as a group, or a bunch of players get together before training camp to work it out, or does everybody just kind of go in when training camp starts?
Yeah, I feel like everybody's about to, especially because it's really a lot of new guys, so everybody has to move into the city and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to be there earlier.
How good is that for you to have some veterans? You'll have some veterans around you to kind of help you.
That's going to be great for me. I need that. Just trying to learn the game as quickly as possible.
A lot of guys, I shouldn't say a lot, but some players I know they're always posting stuff on social media. It doesn't seem like you posting that often. You're not posting like workout videos and stuff like that. Just why is that, or why do you not post that stuff?
I don't play that game, man. People don't need to know what I'm doing. My thing is, I've never done that my whole life, and I'm going to stay true to that. I work out behind the scenes. Nobody knows. You just see it on the court. That's it.
It's right around the corner. Training camp. And what's your emotions?
Excitement, and I don't really know what to look forward to. I don't know what to expect. So just everything's new, and I'm gonna go for it.
I love what I heard him say. I love it. When asked about working out, you know what I'm saying? Said, guys, people don't need to know what I'm doing. I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Love that about the guy. You know what I'm saying? That's big stuff. I love his mentality, man. He's not afraid to do him and be him. That's important to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's big. That's big stuff right there. From my man RJ Barrett. Nick, what's going on, Nick? What's up, man?
Yo, I love what I hear from RJ every time this kid speaks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he just gets it. I don't know if his parents just flat out coached him or just his upbringing, his confidence. Like the swagger of this kid is just unlike everybody else that come through the Knicks. I don't even think Melo took some of these questions the same way he did. Like this kid is he just knows what to say. I don't even think like Porzingis to me was polished, but every answer that you just feel like it's more of a relaxed, less coached. It's not coming from like some media guy telling this kid what to say or something.
Right.
But he just says the right things every freaking time. Not everyone needs to see what the hell you're doing. Sorry, Frank, but you were doing all these never miss shots in practice and then can't hit a shot inside of an international play against Tunisia. And like, I swear, like Frank is so freaking annoying to me because you watch one video, he can't miss a freaking shot, but Tunisia, who has no freaking NBA talent, he can't hit a damn shot, much less drive to the basket. But then this kid, the same size, first year out of college, just comes in and just, I got a big dick, I'm just going to the rim. Sorry, Sim. But it's just like, dude, come on.
He's killing the chat.
I'm sorry, but it's just like, just go to the rim.
I hear you, man.
Like,
I hear you.
Sometimes oh my God, you just don't know how much I'm annoyed with.
I hear you. No, definitely.
No, it's just like he got the size. He can go to the rim. Like, go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, now everybody's accusing me of watching porn and.
Oh man, these guys are something else, man. Anybody else want a quick little comment on RJ Barrett? Go ahead, Guillermo.
Yeah, man, I love what I heard from RJ Barrett, man. Like, I agree 1,000% with Nick. All that stuff about you putting the videos and all that stuff up, like, it doesn't really matter because when you come back still shooting the same, still playing the same game, it's like, what the hell would you post that stuff for, man? All that stuff is just for It's just for the social media. It's just to do this little like, oh yeah, he's doing. It's fake. It's fake. It's just fake all around, man. I love what even when RJ Barrett said it, like he was just going through. He told me, yeah, blah blah, Canada. As soon as that came up, it's like he almost got disgusted with that idea of like, come on, stop. Like,
yeah. I like that.
Oh man, stuff, man. I love it, man. Even from Knox, it's like, dude, no one needs to like. Look, you're an NBA player. When you come back from the summer, we expect you to be in good shape. You've learned something, you develop, blah blah. We don't need to see videos of you doing it to be like, oh my gosh, and then we have a whole episode. Not saying you did it, but say we have a whole episode on him do, because then we look at it and it's like, all right, you did all that working out, and then you only won 17 games. Like, you know what I mean? So I love what I heard from RJ Barrett. Like Nick said, he gets it. He's mature. He speaks well. He sounds personable, and he's getting it. Even in the some of the things you saw development. I love it. Do yourself by your lonely, work by yourself or whatever, and let's see the product on the court. I don't care to see Instagram videos and then you only win 10 games in a year. Screw that. Work in private and develop there, man.
Yeah, let's see if he keeps that up, because the New York Knicks are probably going to be like, hey, we want to put out a video. Watch.
Well, hey.
Watch.
What is that going to put? We need to put out a video. You know what, Sim? Let them put out a video of them playing in a summer league or summer camp.
Listen, the Knicks going to want to do it because it keeps the fans interested. You know what I mean? It keeps the fans' attention. That's what that's about. Real quick, Nate, because then I want to go to Iggy's interview.
Yeah, Sim. Man, don't get these words twisted, but I feel like he's got a lot of Kobe mentality in him. Just dog alpha mentality. And if you heard Zion's interview about RJ Barrett, he's an assassin. He's a killer. I mean, you love to hear that, man. Yeah. When's the last time New York had a player that's been identified as a killer or an assassin type?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hope that his game is like that. I feel like his demeanor's already there. He just needs to, get his game going, and man, this guy could be special.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. Let's hear. I want to hear now, of course, together, Iggy and RJ Barrett were together at the media day. Not media day, but you know what I'm saying. At the rookie shoot. Right? So I want to go ahead and listen to Iggy, see what Iggy has to say. One thing I know is that he took a little bit of time off so he can relax. Hopefully he's back working out. Him and RJ can get together and work out together. One thing that RJ said that I like is that they have a group chat. You know what I mean? And I'd love for someone to sneak me into that group chat. I won't even respond. I'll just listen. I'll just watch the text messages and see who's saying what. You know what I mean? But that's a good thing. I'm pretty sure. Listen, with my high school teams, we have group chats. Where everybody is, talking and giving each other tips and joking and playing and all kinds of stuff. So, big shout out. It's a good way for the Knicks to start getting each other together, building some chemistry, those type of things. I can't wait till they get together and really start working. But let's listen to Iggy. All right, we're going to check Iggy out. It's about a 2-minute video. All right, let's go.
How much confidence do you have coming off of Summer League and what you were able to show the Knicks and their fans?
I always have confidence in myself. That never changes, and I feel like I had a great Summer League. We didn't do as well as we wanted to, but I'm just excited to, show that I'm a competitor. I give it my all every single night, so we'll see how it goes.
What have you been trying to do since Vegas as far as physically, getting your body right?
I actually took some downtime off a little bit. I've been going for a year straight with no stops, no breaks, nothing. So I had a little bit of time to spend some time with my family, and now I'm just, itching and ready to get back at it.
Is it reality hit soon that you're going to be playing, working out and playing preseason games at the Garden?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's really, I take it one step at a time. So everything that comes forth with me, I'm ready for it. But it's definitely kind of crazy, this process.
What is it that you want to work on once you get to camp and build on what you showed in Vegas?
I think just continue to make the right plays offensively. That's the main thing. Just making the right reads, making shots, and then showing that I could defend multiple positions, because I think that's been a knock on me. But I'm going to continue to prove people wrong.
Now the Knicks, with their additions, they also added Morris. How excited are you to get to camp? And
What'd you say? Sorry.
with the addition of Morris and some of your new teammates, how excited are you to meet your new teammates and gel with them?
I'm really excited. You know, we got some great vets coming on our team now, so just getting to know the ropes of the league and getting to know these guys. They seem like cool people, so I'm just excited to get to know them all.
What about the mentality? Everybody seems to be hungry.
Yeah, I mean, we're all hungry. You know, the whole city of New York's hungry, so we're all going to bring that mentality, that toughness every single night, and we'll bring it.
Have you got to see the big city, New York, and look around a little bit and know what you're getting involved in?
Yeah, definitely. You know, just being in the streets of New York, it's a lot. You know, I come from a big city too. Toronto's a big city, but New York is a different animal, so I'm just really excited to embrace it all, and I think I fit that mold.
All right. Big shout out to my man Iggy, man. I see a lot of people in the chat already, you know, saying he's a special kid. You know, the Garden is gonna love him. I can't wait to see the entire team play. I can't wait to see these guys play. You know what I mean? I still wonder where Iggy's gonna fit in, you know, with the glut that we have at the wing spot and all those type of things. But you know, we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes and what Iggy can do. Hopefully he can etch out a few minutes here and there. Listen, the Knicks have 13 back-to-backs. They have 10 sets of 4 games and 6 nights. At least 10 sets of 4 games and 6 nights. There's going to be nights when they need this deep team. Right? There's going to be guys that may need to take off a day here, a game here, or have their minutes lessened and things like that. So there should be minutes. There could be some minutes that go around if done correctly and wisely. Be some minutes that go around. What are you guys' thoughts on Iggy so far? You know, Nate?
Hey, man, you know, like I said, Manu Ginobili 2.0, man. I really think this guy can be the Ginobili for our team, the guy that does it all. I mean, he's a hustler. He plays with heart. He's fearless. He's a playmaker. I like to see his defense get a little bit better. Hopefully he'll work on that. But, I mean, this guy's going to find a way into the rotation. He's too talented not to. And he's just multi-versatile. I mean, you could play him at the 3. You could play him at a small ball 4. I mean, he's got good handles. I mean, he's got really underrated playmaking skills. So, I mean, he'll find a way in the rotation. I'd be shocked if he's not in the rotation when the season starts.
Okay, we'll see. Well, it's not going to be easy to get into that rotation. I'll say that. There's a lot.
It's not, but this kid's got a lot of heart, man.
I know.
A lot of heart.
There's a lot of guys, man, and he's still. Listen, he's a one and done guy. He's a freshman. He was a freshman last year, so he's still young. But there's a lot of guys on his team. There's a lot of people he got to sift through in order to get there. But we'll see. Nick?
Yeah, you know what? You could see by the guys that Scott Perry's brought in, Alonzo Trier, you could say Kevin Knox, a little shaky with Mitchell Robinson, but Iggy and RJ this year, like each one of them, they got confidence. Like they believe and know who they are, and they understand that they gotta get better. That's something I absolutely loved about Kevin Knox last year. They all could point out what they need to do to get better, and they know that they need to approach it from a place of confidence. And I'll state this one more time, and it can't be overstated. Fizdale always said all season last year that he likes guys that are up here with their energy, and he has to bring them down, because he said it was harder to charge a guy up than to bring a guy down.
And it is.
And that's something that when you look at Frank and all these guys, like they gotta be like babied and nurtured, feel better, play better, and you know, like we got no time for that. We won 17 games last year. We got no time for I gotta bring your diaper, your Similac, your baby bag, and everything for you to have a good day at work. Like seriously. I'm sorry, but you know, like I'm sorry. Some of these guys gotta come off the tip and just start playing like big boys, like big boy pants this year. because Frank is playing for a contract, but yet still he's shooting like he's not in a contract year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to bring it this year, and Iggy is coming for your job. Morris is coming for your job. Ellington is going to come for your job. Bullock, as soon as he gets healthy, he's going to come for your job too. Like, some of these guys got to start feeling like it's not safe anymore, because DSJ could be out of the league next year. Look at the way he's playing in pickup games. Like, he looks like he wants it.
I feel you, man. Hey, listen, Nick is on it tonight, y'all.
I'm heated. I can't stand this crap. What I see with Frank, and everybody wants to give him a pass and stuff. No more of this.
Okay,
we won 17 games.
I feel you, bro. I'm with you. I feel you, man. Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead, man, and it's late. So go ahead and do some last words, and then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. You want to start it off, Nick? Give us some last words.
No, I said enough, man. We're going to win as many games as we could.
Yeah, Nick, like, let me get up out of here, because, you know what I'm saying, I might slip and say something, and guys be saying I'm doing this or that.
No, I'm good.
Nah,
y'all have a good night. Just stay alive, man.
I appreciate
Duck these active shooters that be coming out here.
No, I feel you, man. All right, peace.
All right.
Later. City, man, you want to...
What's going on?
Got some last words for me, bro?
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, I just want to say this about Iggy, man. He's a young cat. I hope he, in all honesty, man, I hope he makes a spot on the roster, man. Like, I mean, literally, like, I hope he gets to be on the bench, or at least, you know, like a part of the starting lineup or whatever. You know what I mean? Because I think he's got some potential to do some things. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think he's got better potential than the discount double check Steve Novak hitting threes or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think he could bring more to the game, because that guy, all he could do was hit threes. But I think Iggy could dunk on somebody and do the stuff. And of course, again, I'm gonna say it, I'm rooting for my guy, Alfred Wall Street, Alfred Payton. Let's get it.
All
Take
right.
over, baby.
I feel you. All right, man.
You already know.
Ace. Andy, give us some last words, man.
Yeah. I'm happy I joined in. Had a great time, like always, end up hearing. So I'm happy about that. It's hard to say how's the season going to look. Hard to say what is Fizdale going to do this year. I was, shaky about his decisions last season about the rotation and minutes and stuff like that. So we shall see. It's everything is before us. So. In a few months, we're going to know more.
Yeah, you're not the only one that was shaky, man. I'm definitely shaky with some of the things that Fizdale was doing, too. You're not the only one.
Yeah, so we're going to see. I'm optimistic, though. I'm really happy about, the team we assembled. We're going to see. We can talk about the schedule next time and, pencil in some, W's, some L's, and see what result we're going to get on the paper. And it's all going to be verified on the first weeks of the season, so we can, redo it then in late November.
yeah, definitely. We're definitely going to do that, and we'll keep track of it too. We'll keep track of it. I'll put it on my website. Say, the chat's prediction. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll do it that way.
And if I'm correct, I think it's on Wednesday. It's another France national team game, so we're going to have a few minutes of Frank material then. So.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man.
All right. Shout out to you guys.
No doubt. Shout out to you, man. Again, congratulations, you and your wife on your anniversary.
Thank you again.
Just don't let her hear that Isaiah song.
Yeah, I know, man.
All right, man.
I'm not going to be listening to this episode at the breakfast table, man.
Right. Definitely. All right, man.
Peace.
Nate.
Let me bring it home.
Bring it home, brother. Bring it home.
Hey, man, the reality is that if the Knicks want to be in the playoffs, if we want to get more wins this year, we got to win at home. I was embarrassed to see how many teams came into the Garden laughably and just beat the ever-living crap out of us. I mean, the past Knicks were probably just shell-shocked to see how the Garden has just been so trashed in the past couple of years, in the last decades, to be honest with you. Knicks haven't been good for a while. So if the Knicks want to get to the playoffs, if they want to win more games, we got to defend the Garden. We have got to win at home. It's easier to win at home than to win on the road. And you got the crowd behind you. You got a young squad that's going to give a lot of energy and buzz to the fans. You know, the fans are great. They'll be out there no matter how bad the Knicks are. So it's the Knicks' job to put out a good product and win games at home. That's just the reality of how the Knicks will turn this team around and start winning at home.
All right, man.
That's it.
Without a doubt. All right, Nate. Well, Nate, I will see you on Wednesday. Wednesday night.
All right, man.
It's going to be a tired night for me because I'm going to be traveling a few hours for my daughter to go on a college visit and then traveling back home. But I'll be on. Trust it. I'll be on.
Man. Hey, kudos to you for your dedication, man. I know that you being at basketball all day and then coming and talking 2 hours of basketball with a bunch of knuckleheads.
Hey.
It just
it don't get much better than that, though. It doesn't get much better than that. All right, man.
All right, man. Have a good night. Later.
All right, Knicks fans. All I want to say to finish this off is take a look at the schedule. Mark down some games that you really want to see. And then make sure you're there for those games. I'm not saying there in person, but make sure you're definitely watching those games. You know what I'm saying? Because the Knicks, this team, if we can, the schedule doesn't favor us. I will say that the schedule does not favor us, but hopefully we knuckle in. The guys are looking at the schedule. They're knuckling in and they're saying, we're going to go get this. We're going to shock some people. That's my hope. So look at your schedule. Get some games that you really want to see, man. When we come back on Wednesday, we're going to break it down a little bit more. We're going to look at the schedule and say what games should the Knicks win or not win and kind of see where we think they are. It's hard to say. We'll do it again at preseason. We'll do it again at the middle of the season. You know, we'll break it down that way. It's going to be hard to say because we don't know what this team is yet. We don't know what this team will be yet. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget two things. One, go to SeatGeek.com and use the code NBK to buy yourselves tickets for the season. And you'll get $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek.com. Use the code NBK and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Use that. Do that to get your tickets. Also, opening night, October the 26th versus Boston. Kemba Walker plays his first game at the Garden as a Boston Celtic. You're going to want to be there. I'm putting the link in the chat right now. Make sure you make your down payment for these opening night tickets because now that the schedule is out, you're going to move, man. Make your down payments right now. I'll put the link in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Please, it's late. Make sure you get to work on time. If you're at work right now, thank you for listening in. I hope I helped you get through your night. Get some sleep, folks. Get to work in the morning. Be on time. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. I'm out. And that's not what I was supposed to do. Now I'm actually out. And I'm not out yet. Let's see. Let's try this one more time. So I can be out. This is what happens when you get tired, folks. Now I'm actually out. I'm actually out of here. Peace.